Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, I'll be going through the Gold Coast vs Collingwood game, who went well and who didn't go so well, Darcy Cameron, and how I guess it did ruin some people's weeks as they did go Darcy Cameron over Keys, and why I think that was what went wrong with that, as I don't think Darcy Cameron is a bad trade per se. I think he just struggled in a big boy ruck matchup, and how it seems like Collingwood did go very, very tall, and how he did sort of get suffocated out of a lot of his scoring potential. So before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, Noah Anderson, 1, 2, 3, he did really well, especially last quarter. He scored 42 in the last in very high scoring pockets here, and then 31 here, where a lot of it was kicks and handballs on their own, whereas this was a lot of marking, and he had a mark and then a couple handballs here, marks here, tackles as well included, and another mark here. So he had like 4 marks in the quarter, was that, or 3? 1, 2, 3 marks in the quarter, and probably, I'm guessing, 2 or 3 tackles at least as well. So it just scored very well. Powell scored a lot obviously off the kickouts, I believe. How many kickouts? Yeah, he would have had like a good 7 or 8 kicks from kickouts, and yeah, just ended up with a 105, but he's not consistent enough. He'll easily drop like a 50 or 60 some week. Then you have Flanders here, who's an interesting one, because he could be good, but I'm not 100% sure. And if we do end up fielding him, is he going to consistently do this, or is it just because he played Hawthorn, who are an easy midfield team? And also, it seemed like propping up now that Collingwood are actually one of the easier midfield teams to score against. So are we looking at a guy that's just scored well because he's played against 2 easy sides or 2 easy midfield sides, or are we watching a guy do well because he's got a good fantasy role? Probably one that I'm going to have to look at next week, Flanders, and see why he's scoring so well. Raul, 95, 39 third quarter, but other than that, not scoring well. Fiorini, 95, again, just a good all-round game. McPherson, 82, not good enough to be honest, and he has really fallen from when he was scoring well, so that was a note for me with McPherson. It was to it's probably to look more in depth on guys that taking risk with guys like that, and actually watching how they're scoring their points rather than, and watching especially I think with McPherson, the grounds that they're playing at the next week, and etc. As he went up to Darwin, and I should have realised that it was going to be muggy up there and he wasn't going to get the marks, etc., and pivoted away from him and onto someone else. Ballard, 79, Ellis, 78, Ainsworth, 62, Weller came back in 61. So another down game for him, and he's probably going to lose a lot of value, so I'm glad that I didn't go for him, as he's had an injury and hasn't come back well ever since. Witt, 60. I don't know whether it's just because both Collingwood don't allow them to play that chip style, or whether Gold Coast are trying to pivot away from that and be more attacking, etc. Lukosius, Atkins actually came on and did really well, but I think he's still going to be the sub. Collins, Swallow, McAndrew, Humphrey, again 45, so a lot of people are just taking a hit with him week after week now. Roses, Casbolt, King, Holman, O'Day, and Long. And now we move over to Collingwood, and it was the Nick Dacos show, a lowest quarter of 33. That is ridiculous, and Yeah, he's going to be one for the future. I mean, his break even's now going to be like 85 or whatever, and it doesn't really matter with him because obviously everyone competitive has him. We just got to pick our right matchups that he's going to go crazy and not get tagged. And if we look at the matchup this week, he's got Western Bulldogs. Will they run a tag? I don't know. I'm going to look at, have they played Western Bulldogs this year? Doesn't look like it. So I'll run through a lot of the metrics to see if he is the best. VC or captain. It's not going to be Crouch, and it's going to be I believe Dunkley O'Neill and someone else, probably Dawson. I'm guessing at the moment, as he's got Essendon, who has the West Coast game. Brisbane have the West Coast game. GWS, I don't think. And Geelong have the North game, so that really bumps that out. And Essendon should give up good scores. Freo against Carlton, I'm pretty sure Carlton gave up good scores, but who do they play? They played Hawks. So yeah, could actually go Brayshaw as a captain, but we'll wait and see. It's between Dunkley, Neil, Brayshaw and Dawson, to be honest, as I don't think Petrarca will go huge against Saints, especially with Oliver back. Anyway, Noble 113, he's actually done pretty well. And then Tom Mitchell 101, so this is why I was a little bit, yes, he did score the ton in the end, but I'm worried that if I was to bring him in this round, even though I don't think I can. I think he's right outside of my price range. Mitchell, yeah, he's like 7k out of my price range at the moment for the trades that I want to do. I feel like he'd just fail week 1. Crisp 95, Elliott 94, Josh Dacos 93, Pendlebury 84, Hoskin Elliott, Moore, Quainer, Adams, Frampton, all those guys don't really matter. And then we come down to Darcy Cameron, and he just didn't get going. He actually got going in the last quarter, but that was mostly because of a goal. We just needed a little bit more from Cameron this week. And just didn't score in the end, so it's pretty unlucky. But he's done a decent role in the week before us in that last bye round, and hopefully he can bounce back, as he does have they do have Western Bulldogs, which actually are a really good ruck matchup and could actually help Cameron out, because they only have really English and Lob in the ruck, so it's not really a big matchup. It's more of the around the ground ruckman, so that should be able to help Cameron at least score a lot better. So I don't think it's doom and gloom with Cameron, but it is damning that he did score a 58. But I just don't think he got involved in the game in the first quarter, in his first stint. Then he had a long sit on the bench from memory, and then he came back on, and that's where he started scoring here with the 26th minute mark with the kick in the hand hit out. Did he have any free kicks against? He doesn't look like he had any free kicks against as well, so nothing there. He just didn't get involved with it. Just got dominated in the hit outs, to be honest, and then only had like 3 or 4 disposals from memory. If I remember here, match stats, he ended up with 14 touches. So we're trying to look here, and yeah, this is eerily similar to, and I think the problem here, looking at this now, is just seeing this here. He just didn't get the marks and the tackles to go with here. That Dacos ended up pretty much sharking. But so I don't think it's doom and gloom. I do think a lot of people will think it's a lot worse than it is, because he's probably 2 or 3 marks off and 3 tackles off. What's that? 20 points there in itself. That's an 80 score anyway. He's like a couple of marks and tackles away from an 80, and then also not getting the hit outs because he got beaten in the hit outs. And then also 3 or 4 kicks away. That gets it up to a 90. So he's not that far away, even with 13 hit outs. So I think if he's gonna go up against English, he's gonna probably do. I think it'll be a game where he goes nuts. To be honest with you, I know it's pretty bold in saying that, but I think it all lines up for him to go huge, and then he plays here and against Frio, and we'll have to watch there. But I'll probably have him out by round 19 or round 20 as I look to upgrade him. Keys might not need to be upgraded now, but we'll just wait and see with that. But that is basically the video. As no one else really mattered too much. Harrison got his break even broken basically through that game, so his cash gen is basically stopped being the sub, and I don't think he comes back onto the ground. But anyway, that's the video there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.